I don't mind to slow down anymore. I don't mind the sound of my shoes on your floor. I don't mind selling out or playing cover song, just as long as friends and family sing along. And I don't need more money or a faster car, no. Don't need a magazine to call me a superstar, no. I'm gonna take this little house and make a home, and then I'll never have to face my nights alone. 'Cause in my heart I hear you speak, and on my face I feel you breathe next to me. Two by land, by air, by sea, and that is how it's supposed to be. Now, and that much I can say now. I'm pulling loaves of bread down from the shelf, and how rare it is that I stay up past 12. In the backyard we are going to start a garden. If that don't sound mighty good, I beg your pardon. 'Cause in my heart I hear you speak, and on my face I feel you breathe next to me.
Mic check, 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 mic check. What up, everybody? What up? What are you drinking up in here?
And that is
what are you
how
drinking?
it's supposed to be.
Mic check.
Now, and that much I can say now. If they don't love us, we don't need them. Let's find our own brand of freedom. If they don't love us, we don't need them. Let's find our own brand of freedom. I don't mind to slow down anymore. I don't mind the sound of my shoes on your floor anymore.
All right, everybody. I usually play another song, but listen, I got a fantasy football draft coming up, and I need to get ready for that. And so I need to speed through this tasting. Now, we do have two cameras tonight. As always, got the camera over here. This is the camera I'm going to come to when I'm chatting with you guys. You know, I'm taking a look at your comments. I'm not going to be looking at the comments a lot tonight because, again, I have to speed through this tasting in a little bit. I'm still going to taste. I'm still going to do my thing. But mostly at 7:45 with Steve Zabin and Paul Charchian, I've got the Whiskey League. So if you've got a good pick, if you've got a sleeper pick in the fantasy world, you got to let me know. You got to let me know. And I tell you what, I am so appreciative that you're here on another Wednesday night showdown. Listen, Wednesday night is our night. This is our time to get together, and we're doing live streams every Wednesday at 6:30. And folks, I am so excited. I am so close to 10,000 subscribers. Listen, I've been trying to figure out YouTube. I've written 7 books. I've been to Iraq. I've done all of these things. And I tell you, YouTube is one of the hardest things I have ever done because you can't figure it out. And you got to find your niche. You can't copy people. You got to do your own thing. And you got to be authentic. I have finally found my groove. And I feel like I'm feeling it. So big shout out to all of those YouTubers who have helped me, like Mash and Drum. It's Bourbon Night. You know, we really are a community of whiskey tubers. And I'm almost there. And I want to say that to the 10,000th subscriber, I'm going to send you a signed copy of my books, Bourbon and Bourbon Curious. So if you're not a subscriber, click that subscribe button tonight, and maybe you'll get there. Well, I think we're real close. I think we're like 9,700 and some change. So we're really close. So keep on encouraging people to subscribe, and I really appreciate all the support. Also, I'm going to do a 2-book giveaway. That's right, these 2 books right here, for people who take pictures of the stream tonight and tag me in Instagram or Facebook or Twitter, whatever your social media is. So take a picture of this tasting while we're going and tag me in it, and I'll do like a randomizer winner, and I'll send you 2 signed books. And if you do it anyway, I'll send you a sticker. So if you want to get a cool sticker, you want to get some signed books, just tag me in your socials as you're watching this. So we have a really important rye whiskey taste-off today. This is to me, this is the category that's just finding its own legs. So let me tell you about rye whiskey. Rye whiskey was basically, bourbon was left for dead. Rye was dead. Rye basically died with the fall of, Pennsylvania rye, and it never made a comeback. The juggernaut distillers in rye whiskey were Pennsylvania and Maryland, and arguably some spots in New York. And they didn't really survive a whole lot after Prohibition. Those who did would die out shortly thereafter. It would actually be acquired by, Kentucky distilleries. An example of Pennsylvania and Maryland brands getting acquired by Kentucky distilleries, you got Pikesville, you've got Old Overholt, you've got Rittenhouse, and you got Michter's. Those are all former East Coast distilleries that are now basically Kentucky. And in Kentucky, they didn't distill rye but maybe once a month at most, or once a year. How rye got its comeback was when Pernod Ricard sold the former Seagram's plant that we know as MGP today, formerly known as LDI. They sold it to Angostura Bitters parent company called CL Financial. CL Financial gets in there and says, how can we make money with this distillery that no one's really been making money with? And they're sitting around and looking at all of these stocks, and they say, why don't we start selling the rye whiskey that was basically being used in the Seagram blends? Why don't we sell them to so-called craft distillers? And so all of these people were buying up stocks of rye whiskey 4 to like 12 years old, putting it out on the market, and it just blew up. I mean, people loved it. You had brands like Redemption winning all kinds of awards. You had brands like Templeton becoming really, really well known for their cocktail program. And then you have brands like Smooth Ambler. Now, there's that whole conversation of like they weren't transparent. They were not saying, they weren't being honest where they were getting their liquid from. That's another discussion. But the bottom line is that whiskey was so good, it started flipping people, especially bartenders, into becoming rye lovers. That in turn, basically forced the Kentucky distillers to start making more rye whiskey. So that's why we're starting to see a lot more of the Wild Turkey ryes, because they had a regular program of distilling rye. And so now we have Rare Breed Rye, which did not make this category. It's north of $40. You have Heaven Hill, which actually Heaven Hill was contract distilling through Brown Forman to do their Rittenhouse ryes. Now they have Elijah Craig, they have Pikesville, so they have a real healthy rye portfolio. And then you have Brown Forman with a healthy rye portfolio. And you've got Pennsylvania brands like Dad's Hat coming onto the scene, and you still have the MGP liquid going out. So rye is a very strong category right now. And I walked into Total Wine, a liquor chain, and it's the closest liquor store to my house, and I didn't have a lot of time, so I actually did rush this purchasing program because I've been very tight in the schedule, and I did not get everything that was under $40, but I did fill the cart up with 19 brands 19 brands that you know and probably recognize. If you want to see what those brands are, go into the description section. I will say that the couple juggernauts that are in here, Knob Creek Rye, Minor Case is another one. Old Forester Rye. If I was a betting man, I would put my money on Old Forester Rye just because I know how much I have loved that in the past. But this right here, Russell's Reserve 6-year-old, before they came out with Rare Breed, this was my favorite. This was my favorite Wild Turkey rye. That Rare Breed rye is friggin' money. So it's not in this. It's not in this tasting, but you know, at some point I will taste the winner of tonight up against Rare Breed Rye. So we'll see how that goes. Now I have 19 things to taste. I'll go ahead and see if we have any questions over here. So it looks, you know what? The computer's actually so far away, I can barely see it. But it looks like a lot of people are voting. A lot of people are voting for whatchamacallit, Old Forester. Old Forester Rye. I do think that's good. A lot of people talking about Dad's Hat Cask Strength Rye. That's right. It's on my Whiskey of the Year contender list. It's good. So I'm going to go ahead and get straight to it. Now, to be rye whiskey, it has to be at least 51% rye. Rye is a type of grain that is normally grown in cold climates. So you don't actually have a lot of rye that's grown in places like Texas and Alabama, you know, other that have grow a lot of other grains. They're growing, you know, mostly corn, soybeans, stuff like that, cotton. And when you talk about rye, the good rye is mostly coming from Europe and Canada. You do have some rye grown that's of high quality in North Dakota and South Dakota and the state of Washington. You're starting to see a lot of this change. You're starting to see a lot of people bring back kind of like, local ryes, like they're trying to do that in Kentucky. You're just not seeing the success of it on the distillation. So maybe that will change as they experiment further. So let's go to Glass A. Now we're doing things a little different here tonight. Alex poured me very healthy pours in the glass this time, so we don't have sample bottles. They're actually in this, and I asked him to pour me a little bit more because I'm not going to be able to call him for a re-pour. I think Alex is out on a date or something, so he didn't tell me what was going on. Maybe he's a young man, single. I'd be out on a date if I was him. So Glass A is coming out pretty nice. Got my little notebook here. It's funny, the pen I have is an Old Forester pen. It's like I said, that's definitely one of my favorites, and I've got an Old Forester pen. Hopefully that doesn't bias me. So Glass A, smelling a little licoricey and toasted bread. Wow, real spicy. Man, that's like a tip of the palate spice. Like you don't get tip of the palate spice very often, but it's like got a spice on the tip with some sweetness, and then there's like more spice toward the back. A is fantastic. I'm gonna go ahead and just circle that one in. Well, since I do have a lot to taste here, I'm going to just kind of run through them. Now, B's not smelling like it's ready to go. B's a little bit more on the asphalt side and plastic. Yeah, B's a pretty neutral flavor. It's got a little grain there, but it's not doing it for me. I mean, B is drinkable. I don't find the nose to be very much enticing. But B is something that, in a pinch, you can blend this off in a punch. So if it's $10, good deal. Glass C. C is going a little bit toward the honey route. Honey and jalapeno. Honey and jalapeno. And a real stark black licorice. I don't think C is a contender, but C is definitely definitely rye. Definitely no mistake about that. Class D. Ooh! Oh, Glass D just said hello. Now, reminder: if you're watching this, we're real close to 10,000 subscribers. Become the 10,000 subscriber, and I'm going to send you a signed pair of books, Bourbon and Bourbon Curious. And if you tag me in a social media forum, I'm going to send you a sticker, as well as take a drawing to see who will to get a pair of signed books as well. So Glass D. Glass D's fruity. Glass D's fruity. I mean, I'm talking dried apricot, can of peaches. Oh, man. Fruit City. Oh, man. Now, D is skewing so on the sweet side. It's actually tasting a little bit more like a bourbon. It's coming in with fruit, caramel, vanilla, and then some Nutella. Just a slight hint of cinnamon. Glass D is that's an interesting cat right there. All right, where are you at, E? Okay. Glass E. That's another one that smells really good. Cotton candy. Cotton candy. Cherry pie. Little coconut. And a hatch chili. Now, I'm going to rinse my mouth out a little bit. Come check you guys out here for some questions. What's going on, everybody? You doing all right? Now, tell me what you're drinking. Keep that chat nice and healthy. You guys on YouTube, you all are always up, chatting up, going, doing the thing. Copper 57 says, I want to see Fred sample the spit cup when he's all done. Listen, that's kind of I'm not saying that's happened, but I'm not saying it's not happened by accident. Corey Keeneland's talking about a little bit of hatch green chili. That's good stuff. Dustin Yant says, just finished a beer with a burger. Gonna crack a Pursuit series now. That's fantastic. All right. So let's go to glass F. So F smells a little petrol-like. Definitely got that kind of rye, rye baking nose. Very oily. It smells oily. And dill. There's like the herb dill. There's a lot of dill in this. Extremely herbal. Herbal with a touch of spice, but I mean, really, this comes down to this is like a nice herbal candy that you would get in a like a Chinese medicine store, you know. I mean, it's kind of, it is what it is. Let's go to glass G. Oh man, there's like three of them in here, 3 rye whiskeys in here that are just nosing spectacular. And I wonder if like having that much more liquid in there is having a really dramatic effect. I never knows Glencairn's fool. So to be quite transparent with you, this is a bit of a different tasting experience for me. But I had to have them filled up like this because I didn't want to take a chance of running out. And I want to do this absolutely blind, so I don't want to know, and I don't want to have to re-pour and know what something is. But given that I smelled 3 ryes that just like otherworldly kind of wowed me, I'm beginning to think that the fill level of the amount here might be having a... so I'm going to have to take a different approach. Yeah. No, so normally you see me, I'm like that. Now, sadly I just kind of put it all together, but now I'm going to have to put my nose a little bit higher. So that's something, as a taster, you got to be aware if something is not as it normally is. And I've never had, in a flight like this, like 3 ryes that just like, woo, on the nose. So going to change up the landing, if you will, on the nose. That's more like it. Very nice, very subtle, more subtle this way. This is a floral one. So G's bringing a lot of floral notes. Kind of like a honeysuckle. Little magnolia. And then, some spice and sweet. Let's taste. Oh, some bitch. Boy, it's just tingling my tongue. Tingles. So I'm writing caramel, vanilla, but really, this is complex. So G is all up on me. Due to like the time constraints that I have, I'm going to eliminate some things early, and not rank the entire 19 flights. I will. Well, you know what? I'll do my very best. Okay. I'll do my very, very best to get everything. I'll do my very best to rank them all, but I need to pick up the pace a little bit. So let's go to glass H. H is definitely oily, herbally. And grainy. Yeah, H is just a basic kind of like rye. Not gonna wow you. Let's go to I. I's got a bit of a bread pudding, a banana pudding kind of reminds me of some of the Scottish puddings. It's just very pudding smelling. So Mary Klusky says she's puzzled by the dill description. Think of it like a dill pickle, the herb dill. Like this has it. I think I is a bit of a contender for a particular type of a palate. You're going to have to really like pudding and pickles, which, when my wife was pregnant, she didn't really get into pudding and pickles, but I hear about people who want ice cream and, oh God, Jay, no. Ooh. Nope. Jay is a double nope. I think Jay might be the worst thing I've tasted yet. Completely over oaked. Like a lump of charcoal. Let's go to K. K's coming in a bit more like a typical rye. There's some rye bread notes, a little bit of a rye rising muffin, and some herbs. Well, K is nice. There's just not enough there to it. Not there. Okay. So glass L. Oh my. Oh yeah. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Glass L. Just straight up grabbed my tongue and just started wiggling it. Spicy. Thinking cinnamon red hot. I like L a lot. L's the kind of whiskey that can win a competition because it's got such a powerful dominant note that nothing will have that can overtake it. Class M. Glass M has got a little bit of a chocolate to it. But at the end of the day, M just doesn't have the ump for me. It definitely won't be going on. So just kind of looking at the time here, I will be able to rank them, I think, as long as I keep on pace. Glass N. Ooh, cherry bomb. Cherry bomb. Now it's a little bit more like, yeah, really cherry forward. Okay, so it's cherry forward on the nose, on the palate. It's like cherry cough syrup. Ugh. I would say like whose ever bottle that is, I would actually inspect that for like a contamination. That does not taste like it's straight rye. One thing to note too is that when you're shopping for rye whiskeys, if you don't see the term straight on the rye, then they can add up to 2% of like flavorings. So straight rye is a little bit more protected. Rye whiskey is not a protected term like bourbon is. There's a lot more things that can go on with it. And there's rye from Canada, Finland. You can make rye whiskey anywhere in the world. And what I just tasted in Glass Inn, made me think they added something and it didn't go right. So, I mean, that was heavily flawed. And if I was tasting this, I would, in a setting with the distillers, I would say, hey man, you need to do some analysis on this because it ain't right. So Glass O. Glass O is a nice herbal candy kind of nose. A little black pepper. I really like O. It's got a little bit of a chocolate, black pepper, herbal candy. So we got four. We got 4 left, and I got about 30 minutes. P is nice, but just too light for me. Q. Man, this is the second time I've smelled this kind of plastic note tonight. Not a fan of that smell. Oh God, that's horrid. Oh. Q is like the leftover ashes of a fire. Oh, man. Ooh, 17 rye whiskeys in. My palate is feeling it. There's been a couple really bad ones in here that I think took a toll on my palate. Unfortunately, I don't have my cheese to kind of fatten it up and everything, so I'm going into these last two in the final round a little bit unprepared, to be honest with you. So, like, my normal tasting regimen is pulled back a little bit. And sometimes that happens, you know, and, you know, this is what I do. So I'm going to have to, like, you know, dig in here and just taste the last two here. Glass 2 or Glass R. A little cherry. Banana. And roasted walnuts. Definitely Banana City there. Coming off like Bananas Foster. I like our last one in Glass S. Now, I saw in the comments saying, like, hey, you want to taste your calibrator? Your calibrator whiskey? Unfortunately, you know, I'd have to find something here that I know. Yeah, I know what Bullet 10 tastes like. Let's see, do I have any clean glasses here? Yep, there we go. Oh, it's got mezcal in it. Ooh, mezcal stinks if you leave it out for 5 days. I'm all right. And for those who've not followed me, they're just kind of new to the program, when you taste a lot and you find like you feel like your palate's kind of like going off the rails a little bit, there are a few things that you can do to make sure that it's staying on. One is to kind of go through a process that I use. I use a Munster cheese, crackers, almonds, and soda water. I can't even begin to tell you how busy I am right now, and I haven't had the chance to get Munster cheese. That sounds lame as fuck. I know it sounds lame. I'm even think it's lame, and I said it. But the other thing you can do is you can taste a whiskey that you know really, really well, and to make sure that it's hitting your palate in the right places, and you can still taste it and everything. So I know the Bullet 10-year-old line exceptionally well, and I'd say my palate's probably about 85% right now. So if I were a football player or whatever, you kind of know that going in. That's, you know, I'm not a football player, but my palate's not 100%. It's at 85. Glass S. Definitely rye. So S has got a little bit of a pumpernickel bread to it. Some smoke. Sea salt. And I shit you not, the butter from Longhorn Steakhouse. That like honey butter, specifically from Longhorn's. I know Longhorn Steakhouse butter really, really well because that's my son's favorite restaurant. Longhorn butter. So, we did it. Woo! We are through the flight, and now it's time to start eliminating and moving some things on. Now, I'm going to make some room to put the glasses here. What I'm going to do, I am not going to spend time on those that I am culling. You know, that like glass P. Glass P, I said was nice, but too light. Glass Q. Leftover ashes from a fire. That's definitely not what you want to hear. Glass R and S are going to stay. I'm going to keep glass O for its chocolateness. Glass N, the cherry cough syrup one. Going to go out. Glass M, it looks like I was on the fence on. Had a chocolate note I rather liked. But everything else was kind of... I'm going to keep glass M because I think M is a bit of a celebration of a rye. It's got some chocolate there, but it's got some classic rye notes in there too. L is a must keep. K was on the fence. Let's retaste K. I think if I were doing like the complete rankings, I think K would be in that middle tier, but I'm just not going to do that tonight out of necessity for needing to keep things timely. J just got a straight up nope from me. You know it ain't good if you got a nope. I is a dark horse for sure. H. G. F was another one of those borderline ones. Yep. Going to give F a go. E's going to stay. D staying. B is out. And A is definitely in. C is on the fence. Okay, so I will rank what's left here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I will rank 12 of those left. Now I will use this take this as a moment to answer some questions. If some people bring some things in here. Andrew Clark's, what do you think of Bullet 12-year-old Rye MGP? I absolutely love it. Yep, you know, it is MGP. So Diageo has a long-term contract with MGP to do their contract distillation on the rye, and yeah, it's good. Most of the Bullet line is pretty tasty, to be honest with you, and I think they have absolutely one of the most talented blenders in all of spirits right now. You know, at Bullet, she did the blender select. Ebony Major, just incredible. Valerie and Ed Brantley asked, have you had the new Elijah Craig Rye yet? As a matter of fact, I have, and I didn't give it my highest ranking. Andy Littman asked, where is Rittenhouse? Where's Rittenhouse? Unfortunately, Rittenhouse was not in the store I was shopping at. Or at least I did not see it. As you may recall, at the top, I did say I shopped hastily, so I might have passed over it. Let's go. All right. And I think it's time to try and narrow these down. Okay, so I think I do have a couple favorites. I want to taste A again. I like the breadness of A. I like the rusticness of it. A's got it going on. Do I like it over D? Cup's getting pretty full. D and A are kind of close. Let's see how E fares to it. A and D are hitting my palate a little stronger than E. Let's check out F. All right, F is not as good as A and D. I think E is still better than F. Class G. Class G is really good. Class H, the oily one. I kind of dig it, man. I like oily ryes. H just doesn't have the legs, but keep your eye on H. Like, I have a feeling that this one, the distillate, just might turn around, in a couple more years in the barrel. Class I. Oh, shit. Fucking I is great. Class L. Cinnamon red hot note. Sure is pretty. In Glass L wins the award for most spicy. So if you're someone who likes your ryes like really friggin' spicy, like you want to taste the inside of a cinnamon, you want to like just crunch down on a piece of pepper, fucking Glass L is gonna wet that whistle. And I'm working on my cussing. I'm trying not to cuss as much. Glass M, the chocolate bomb. Nope. I mean, it was good to come this way, M, but it's just not there, bud. Glass R. R will advance. Banana City. S. S will not advance. Glass O. Looks like I missed that one. Got them out of order a little bit. All right, so O will not advance either. So your top six are going to be R, L, I, G, D, and A. And I'm going to need to take a break because you need to refill the water. You need to pour this guy out. And yeah. Just looks like Scott Soule's just joining. He started ranking. I'm about to rank now, Scott. So you guys talk amongst yourself while I go get some things ready.
I'm gonna take you on a ride. We're gonna burn through the night. Why you're so salty? I'll still take a bite.
Okay, we can take my Lambo. I'll put on a tight show. You sure you can handle? We be faster than Django.
I'm gonna take you on a ride. We're gonna burn through the night. Why you're so salty? I'll still take a bite.
We can take my Lambo. I'll put on a tight show. You sure you can handle? We be faster than Django.
Can't stop, won't stop. I can't stop, won't stop. I can't stop, won't stop. Can't stop.
Can't stop, won't stop. Can't stop, won't stop. Can't stop, won't stop. Can't stop. Okay.
I'm gonna take you on a ride. We're gonna burn through the night. Why you so salty?
You sure you can handle? Okay. We can take my Lambo. I'll put on a tight show. You sure you can handle? We be faster than Django.
Can't stop, won't stop. I can't stop, won't stop. I can't stop, won't stop. Can't stop.
I guess I timed that pretty well, huh? Yeah. Not planned. Not planned. All right, so let me get these rankings out. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right, so in 12th place, we have Glass H. We'll find out what that is. 11, M, 10, S, 9, F, 8, E, 7, O, and then we have 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so here we go on the final taste off of the rye whiskey under $40, purchased at One Total Wine in Springhurst. So here we go. Damn. A's just my jam, you know? Like, I want to drink a Class D. A over D. G. Remember really being all up in arms about this one. Oh, yeah. G stays. Class I. I stays. Class L. The licorice on I is really attractive if you like licorice. Class L stays. Class R. Class R, well, frickin' delicious, will be going into 5th place. So, in 6th place, Class D. In 5th place, Class R. And believe me, when I tell you that A, G, I, and L, there's not a lot separating them. They're very different. They're very different approaches. They're very different in styles, but they're all friggin' delicious. We're going to see. I know how A versus G tastes. I want to see how A versus I. And then G versus L. It's at this stage that I'm looking to see the points on the palate. Like, how many spots on the palate is it hitting? Like, is it hitting just one section of the palate? Especially now when your palate's like, man, it's been worked really, really fucking hard, you know? You want a whiskey that's going to stand up. I'm going to make a presumption here, and that I has more rye than A, because it tickles the palate in a very, very different way. A hits the A's got a different approach. A's a little bit more of a buttery mouthfeel, whereas I is a tickler, You know, it's coming in with like all these little pieces of spice. You know, you may remember the Snack Crackle popcorn or the gum that you had as a kid. I approaches you very much like that, and loads the palate with spice. So I think I's just got so much spice going on that, you know, there's also a dill note. There's also this bread pudding note. But I'm kind of giving it I the slight edge here. Now let's see what G versus L is. And I would like to have a 2-camera setup so you guys can see, have an over-the-top look. I'm going to have that at some point, so you'll be able to see me kind of like grabbing the glass and swirling and all that. Have a little bit more of an in-production kind of thing. But right now, it's just me doing all this. It's not the easiest thing in the world, but damn do I love it. After that taste, I'm definitely picking I and A over G. Let's see where L stands. So G had a really good run. I believe it even got a son of a bitch out of me, but it lacked the spice that I and L had, and it lacked the kind of like butteriness that A had. So A, I, and L, all three had very exceptional qualities in different ways, while G just could not stand up. And that is one of the things, like these tastings, like I'm having to choose between glasses. And some of the competitions that I judge, they don't necessarily ask me to do that. They ask me to grade the glass and not compare it to the thing next to it. I'm like, I want to compare it. It's not natural to just taste a glass and say, oh, it's this, or oh, it's that. That's why I'm moving out of the ranking system in terms of scores and going more in these kind of like blind flight things. Because here's the thing, is that, you know, I gave Woodford Reserve and Maker's Mark the same exact score, but at the end of the day, when I'm going to the store, I'm choosing one of them. And I think that it's better to have a ranking system than a scoring system. So here we are with A, I, and L, and they're all really, really good. And I dare say borderline great. So let's do a taste off here between I and L, because they're kind of similar. What time we got here? Oh shit, my fantasy draft's in 10 minutes. I was going to text my the commissioner that I'm running late, but they'll figure it out. I definitely gets the edge on L. I just think I has so much more rye, and it's just, it's feeling right. So I think the only chance to beat I is Glass A, which continues to, see, I just smelled a bunch of corn on it. I'm smelling some corn on that now. But it's good. See, you can have a lot of corn in a rye whiskey, and it comes down to preference with what you want. But I got a lot of corn, I got a lot of grain in that time. But I's been unrelenting. It's given me everything that it is, every single time I taste it. And in fact, it continues to impress me. It's kind of gone from like this dill to bread pudding kind of notes and these Scottish puddings to really being complex in a spice perspective. And that just makes me think that this is a better whiskey. But this is the last taste. This is a difficult decision. It always is. But I'm giving I the heads up over A. So in fourth place, we had G. R, we had, came in third. Wait. I'm sorry, I got that wrong. G was fourth place, and third place was L. A was second, and I was first. Now, since I have like almost no time for my fantasy draft, I'm just going to read to you all what they were. Normally I type them up, and I do absolutely from, I apologize, but, you know, at the same time, I've got to get to it. Okay, so in the didn't make the cut bracket, Glass J, Braddock Oak. Also not making the cut, Glass C, Jim Beam. Not making the cut, Glass B, Old Overholt. Not making the cut, Glass K, Deadwood. Not making the cut, uh-oh. This is a shocker. This is a huge shocker. Not making the cut. Glass Inn, Old Forester. Glass Inn, Old Forester did not make the cut into the ranking round. But listen, folks, that is why we taste blind. Another shocker coming in, not making the ranking round. Glass Q, New Riff. Also not making the ranking round, Glass P, Ezra Brooks. So, I will just tell, I'm going to go down. I'm going to write these and tell you out loud what they are. In 12th place, Glass H, Riverboat. In 11th place, Glass M, Old Henry Clay. In 10th place, Glass S, Wild Turkey, 81 proof. In 9th place, Glass F, Pinhook. In 8th place, Glass E, Woodford Reserve. In 7th place, Glass O, Templeton. In 6th place, Glass D, Minor Case, coming out of Limestone Branch. In 5th place, Glass R, Jack Daniels with a very respectable showing. In 4th place, Glass G, Russell's Reserve. In third place, I can't read my writing. Glass L, Rossville Union. In second place, boy, did I nail this? Did I nail this? Did I say that one had more rye than the other? I said that I and L had more rye, and did I nail that? Because they're both basically from the same distillery. In second place, Glass A, Knob Creek. And in first place, coming in, bottled in Lexington, Kentucky, distilled in Indiana, that would be none other than James E. Pepper, 1776. So there you go. That was the Pepper. To me, this was a really great representation of rye. I gave it the edge over A, which I thought was really delicious, but I gave it the edge over A because to me it was more of a representation of what rye could taste like on its own without having the help of corn. You understand that rye is very difficult to distill. It's especially hard to ferment because it foams a whole lot. And so when someone is able to get a lot of good rye in there and have that rye flavor, to have some complexity to it with the spice, to me, that's a winner. And so 1776, James E. Pepper, congratulations for winning this under $40 tasting, I'm tasting you now, of rye whiskey. And I'll have to say that this was a really good, like I'm looking at my rankings here, and you know, there's not a lot of shockers here. I think maybe the one shocker is that the Old Forester did not make the cut. I want to take a look at the one that I said might be flawed, because if that's the one, we may be going back to them and saying, hey, check that out. So I might have to go back and review the video, but I did say that there was a bottle in there that I thought was really flawed, and I might send it back to him and have him check it out. But all in all, what a really fun tasting. I thought it was a good night. I thought it was, other than a couple moments, I thought my palate was pretty good. And I've had the Pepper before, and they definitely have a good representation of rye whiskey. So as I close out here, I do ask you that you wish me good luck in my fantasy draft. And if you haven't yet, subscribe to this channel on YouTube, because we're real close to 10,000 subscribers. And when we get to 10,000, the 10,000th member will get 2 signed books from me. Also, make sure you take a picture of this show and tag us on whatever social media. We'll send you something nice. And I'll do a drawing to give you 2 books. So I'm off to go do my fantasy draft, where I will not be drafting Peyton Hillis because he's no longer around. Or what are some of the other great? Remember Sean Alexander was like the guy who like led me to a championship back in the day. But I wish they would tell us if somebody has already had COVID, because that way we know they're immune to it maybe. But yeah, tonight is the night. And the entry for the league is actually a bottle of whiskey. So I am off to go do the draft. Thank you all for joining me. Be safe out there. Be kind to one another. And remember, vodka sucks unless it's being used for hand sanitizer. Cheers, everybody.